Well, as you know, she is calling it a book tour, right? A book tour, not a campaign stop. But Hillary Clinton was very much in campaign mode last night, taking questions on everything from Benghazi and those attacks almost 2 years ago to immigration issues in this country that are unfolding right now along the U.S.-Mexico border. So how did she do? I want to bring in CNN executive political editor Mark Preston, also CNN political commentator Ben Ferguson, and Jess McIntosh joins us, the communications director for Emily's List. The president of that organization has often been floated as a potential director for a possible Clinton presidential campaign in 2016. Had to throw that in there. We'll get to you in a moment, Jess. But to you, Mark, overall, your impressions of last night's town hall.
Well, Poppy, you know, if there was ever any question, or if you ever had doubt in your mind that Hillary Clinton was contemplating a run for president, you just have to go back and watch that town hall. She staked out positions on guns, on immigration, on same-sex marriage. She took definitive positions on Syria, on Iraq, and Iran. You know, all laying a groundwork that many of us believe. I think that everyone believes that she's going to run for president. But it was this moment last night that occurred right before she took the stage. Her motorcade was pulling up to the museum where this event was being held. And she got out and she approached a squirrel on the sidewalk. Now, the squirrel, it was a staffer sent there by the Republican National Committee, and she handed the squirrel the book, shook his hand. And I think that this is, while it may seem frivolous at the moment, if you really look at it, it shows that Hillary Clinton is willing to take her detractors on, that she's willing to address them head on. And she did that right before she took the stage. So, look, pictures are 1,000 words and actions are, speak louder than all of that. I think we saw that last night.
Yeah, the official word, I'm thinking about it, and talking about being excited about being a grandmother, but then saying, hey, by the way, grandfathers have run for president. That was something that certainly caught my attention. You know, last night, guys, we heard about this evolution of Hillary Clinton's answer on whether or not same-sex marriage should be legal in this country. First, let's listen to her answer from her NPR interview last week. Then you're going to hear what she told our Christiane Amanpour at last night's town hall.
For me, marriage had always been a matter left to the states. And in many of the conversations that I and my colleagues and supporters had, I fully endorsed the efforts by activists to work state by state. And in fact, that is what is working. And I think that you know, being in the position that I was in the Senate, fighting employment discrimination, which we still have some ways to go, was appropriate at that time.
If we're going to support marriage in our country, it should be available to everyone, regardless of who they love. And that this marriage equality issue is a great human rights issue. So yes, I evolved over time, and I'm very proud to state that I'm a full supporter of marriage equality right now.
Ben, your take on that, listening to both of those?
I mean, evolution over time, I would say since last week would be a little bit more accurate. And this is a woman that certainly is, everything points to that she's going to run for president of the United States of America. And part of what you could see about her answers is they're so well thought out, so well planned, almost like there's been debate prep. How are you going to answer this? What is your stake on this? Do you want to change what you said last week that maybe didn't connect with people enough? And that's the reason why you see her talking in this safe way, but also in very broad terms and changing her position a little bit. And I think part of this is really just learning what connects with people and what gets you a bigger applause. What she said yesterday got her a much bigger applause than what she said to NPR. And so that is the candidate Hillary Clinton kind of honing her skills.
Well, now, and if she does decide to run, that's a statement that was so clear last night and decisive. It's not something she can turn away from. Jess, to you, during her 2008 run, she got some criticism that she wasn't as, you know, personable as she could have been, or as open about her, you know, herself, her private life, being a woman running, etc. I thought it was so fascinating how she explained that last night. It was so personal. It really struck a chord with me. Let's listen.
I think it was difficult to really gauge how I was presenting myself and being perceived. So I do believe that was an issue. I mean, I would be worrying about, well, you know, what are people going to say, and you know, what do they mean, and all the rest of that. And I think I'm beyond that. I can't say I'm never going to feel that, but I do believe that a woman in any high public position, whether it be journalism, politics, business, whatever, is always constantly being judged, and you then can fall into what is a kind of bad habit of constantly editing yourself.
Look at those heads nodding there in the audience. She also went on, Jess, as you know, to talk about, frankly, as a woman having to think about hair and makeup and how her male rivals could just get out of the shower and shake their head off. I mean, this was something that we hadn't heard before. Do you think that opening up like this is a calculated step to a potential run in 2016?
No, I think it's candid and it's insightful, and I think that what she said resonated with every single woman in that room and watching at home. I mean, I wish that last night had been Hillary Clinton's presidential announcement. Everybody I know is really pretty excited about the possibility. But what it was a town hall with a woman who could be the front runner if she chooses to do this. And I think we saw last night exactly why people are so excited about her brand of leadership. They want somebody who relates to them in their day-to-day lives, and that's what she proved last night she is.
Poppy,
Well,
I also think part of this is she lost last time, and she knows that she has to recreate and reinvent herself. And it's a lot easier after you lose to say, okay, well, that didn't work. And so to be more personal and to be a little bit more even that grandmother role and the nurturing and caring. Remember, that's what got her husband elected president, was the I feel your pain guy that would go running to McDonald's, which people could relate with.
Just picturing that right now. Mark, to you really quickly before we wrap up, I just want your take here in terms of, she said right at the outset, if you want to be president, you have to have a vision for the country and you have to know how you're going to execute it. But do you think we heard a vision for the country from Hillary Clinton last night?
You know, Poppy, there's been a lot of criticism of her, a lot of questioning of whether Hillary Clinton has been able to offer that vision. Has she been to say why voters should select her? And honestly, I do think it's a little bit too early to be playing that at her doorstep. You know, we're not asking the other candidates, the other Republicans, the Rand Pauls of the world, why they think that they should be president. And quite frankly, we know why she thinks that she should be president. She thinks that she's the most qualified to be president. So it's a little bit, we're all looking for something about Hillary Clinton to pick at or to find out about, as well as the Republicans as well. I don't think that this is really an honest or a good way of going at either candidates, whether it's Hillary Clinton or any of the Republicans who are running right now. They're not candidates, although they are candidates.
I was just going to say, and hey, kudos to our Christiana Amanpour for, as Hillary Clinton said, the most creative way of asking if her competitive juices were flowing for a presidential bid in 2016. It's going to be fascinating to watch, and you'll all be there with us for the long ride ahead to 2016. Thank you, Mark Preston, Ben Ferguson, Jess McIntosh. We're back after a break.